Most people think that if they have a will, the will takes care of all their assets. So upon their death, all their assets go according to what the will says. And this is not actually correct. A will direct on your death everything that passes under your will. What does that mean? Typically that means your house or a bank account that has no other direction on it, your car, that sort of thing. Oftentimes, the biggest asset that anybody has in their estate is their IRA or their 401k or something that is what is a non-probate asset. When I say non-probate, I mean an asset that does not pass under your will. And think about this. When you set up your IRA, when you set it up, it said it had a beneficiary designation on it. It says, well, where do you want this to pay on your death? And if you're married, you may have said, I want it to go to my spouse. If you're single, you may have said, I want it to go to my kids, etc., that sort of thing. So with this beneficiary designation, your IRA pays on your death where you told it to pay because of the beneficiary designation, which can be completely different than what you said under your will in terms of where that asset passes. Don't think that your will encompasses everything, because it does not. It will not redirect where your IRA or your 401k goes. Sometimes people have forgotten to put a beneficiary designation on the asset. If that's the case, then by default, the asset may pay to the estate, and if it pays to the estate, then it will go under the will, but that's not a good way to set up your plan. With retirement accounts, they have something called required minimum distributions, and a required minimum distribution is a rule that the IRS has imposed that says they want to get their taxes sometime because you haven't paid taxes on that account yet. And if you die and have this retirement account, there are rules that say over what time frame does the recipient of that account have to pay the taxes. So let's say that you have a retirement account and you properly put a beneficiary designation on it that it goes to your spouse. Well, your spouse gets to pay the taxes over their lifetime. Required minimum distributions, also known as RMDs, are stretched out over your surviving spouse's lifetime. If you paid it to your children, it pays over 10-year period. If instead that you didn't put anybody on it and it pays to your estate, then the RMDs are compressed to a 5-year period, resulting in a higher tax rate, more taxes being paid. What I'm pointing out is it's really important to understand how your assets pay upon your death. Make sure that you have beneficiary designations on your retirement accounts. I haven't talked about life insurance yet, and I do want to mention that if life insurance pays to a person under a beneficiary designation, then that person receives the life insurance proceeds, and those proceeds are not subject to any creditors you may have. If instead there isn't a beneficiary designation on your life insurance policy, so it pays to your estate and then it goes under your will, then creditors have access to those proceeds. Your will does not cover all your assets. If you have 401k, an IRA, and or a life insurance policy, make sure that you have the right beneficiary designation on those assets.